What's going on? Happy Friday, everybody. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles now. We're live right here on Chat Sports. My name is Chase Sr. Day 5 of NFL free agency. Several hours underway on this beautiful Friday, March 14th. And the Eagles today have made multiple roster moves. They just signed 3 players on top of a long snapper who they signed to a contract earlier this morning. So after a few slow days to start NFL free agency for Howie Roseman, this front office and this coaching staff, over the last couple of days, things have really started to pick up some steam. Of course, no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. As we have people rocking with us from every pocket of America and worldwide, we've been live for all 5 days of NFL free agency, and producer Chip has been alongside me for every single second. So some of those moves that Philadelphia has made today, we'll go through these very quickly, and then we're going to do some long-form content on what all of these players could bring to Philadelphia. The Eagles signing running back Avery Williams to a 1-year contract. It's going to be worth little to no money at all. So we'll see what those details are, but a 1-year contract for a very interesting gadget type of player who started his NFL career on the defensive side of the ball. Now he's become an offensive player with some special teams value as well. The Eagles also bringing back a familiar face, an outside linebacker, Patrick Johnson, who was with this team for a couple of years and most recently with the New York Giants. After he didn't make the Eagles' 53-man roster, New York picking him up, and with the Eagles having a need at that outside linebacker, pass rushing spot with Josh Sweat leaving in free agency. We'll see what happens with Brandon Graham. The Eagles are bringing back a player who they are familiar with. And then Philadelphia just signed a very interesting tight end in Kylen Granson, who is one of the top blocking tight ends in the National Football League and is a pretty solid pass catcher as well. He used to play for the Indianapolis Colts, and after the Eagles signed another tight end in Harrison Bryant yesterday, they are signing Kylen Granson to a 1-year deal today. Of course, a lot of other moves coming through across the National Football League, and we'll, of course, get you up to date with some of those other moves as well. But I first want to get to the Super Chat from our Super Chat MVP from all throughout the week, and that is Jonathan E. Frog. He said the big dog is back again, and he has certainly sent in some big-time Super Chats this week. We have more than 400 people watching live. I need everybody right now to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. The more likes that we get, the more people who will find the stream, and the more fun that we can have. All week we've been simulcasting on Eagles Now and on the 49ers Report, but because the Eagles have been so active today, we're live on Philadelphia Eagles Now. So Jonathan E. Frog with the $20 Super Chat saying the big dog is back again. And now that the big dog is here, let me throw out a deal to the people. Whoever sends in a $50 Super Chat, since it's a Friday, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, I'm going to take down a shotgun to get things going here. That's been the staple of the program all week. Joe Lord, dude is genuine AF, might have the best running back room in terms of intangibles in the NFL. I'll tell you this, the running back who the Eagles just signed, again, we're about to get to it, Avery Williams, really intriguing. And Chip, next we can take a look at the Eagles free agency tracker just to get everybody up to date with all of the moves that the Eagles have made. But this gadget player that they are bringing in Avery Williams, he was a 5th-round pick in 2021 by the Atlanta Falcons. And I think that this is a Britton Covey, Kenneth Gainwell replacement on special teams for Philadelphia. So you take a look at what the Eagles have done as we're sitting here, day 5 of free agency. No splash moves like they made last year when they signed Saquon Barkley and brought back C.J. Gardner-Johnson, added Mekhi Becton, and made some wholesale changes to that Eagles team. But a lot of these moves are impactful, right? Because the Eagles have depth needs. They have to fulfill some roster spots. And these are players who I think can make an impact on the periphery and the edges of the Eagles roster. And keep in mind, too, that this Eagles team is still very, very loaded and talented. So the Eagles signing Saquon Barkley to a 2-year, $41.2 million contract extension. Zach Bond got paid after the terrific season that he had. 3-year, $51 million deal, $17 million per season. That really started the trend of the linebacker market exploding this offseason. In seasons prior, we've seen the wide receiver market, for instance, go crazy. The offensive tackle market last offseason absolutely exploded. This has happened with offensive guards. Shoot, Aaron Banks of the Niners, who's an average to good player, just got $19 million per year. And so Zach Bond signed for $17 million. Then we saw a flurry of linebackers sign after him for contracts in the neighborhood of what he got. They can thank Zach Bond for resetting the market at that position. I think this move, underrated for the Eagles, trading away Kenny Pickett for a 5th-round pick and Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Tanner McKee's a better quarterback than Kenny Pickett. Everybody who knows ball knows that. And the Eagles are very confident in McKee becoming the backup quarterback to Jalen Hurts. And then you get a developmental player in DTR coming back to Philadelphia. He had a top 30 visit with the Eagles, and you get a valuable 5th-round pick. Let's ride. A move that I did not like, the Eagles trading away C.J. Gardner-Johnson for Kenyon Green, is a former 1st-round pick, and you know that Jeff Stoutland is going to try to get him back on track, but I don't think that was worth saving money and losing the player that you are in trading away C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Ben Van Sumeren re-signing with the Eagles on a 1-year contract. He could play linebacker, special teams, and fullback. A.J. Dillon, an absolute bull. Now the Birds in that backfield have Quadzilla and the Quad Father, both getting carries, in addition to Will Shipley, who I think has a lot of juice and potential in this league. Josh Uche signing a 1-year deal worth less than $2 million. His guaranteed money just north of $1 million. And I think that he could be this year's version of Zach Bond. Not being a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year or being an All-Pro, but surprising people with his production for minimal dollars. And it wouldn't surprise me if Uche has 7 to 10 sacks. And if you get that type of production at under $2 million, holy value right there. Harrison Bryant, 1-year deal up to $2 million. Adoree Jackson, that's going to be a 1-year contract as well. So long, Rick Lovato, long snapper, who had been with the Eagles since 2016, following another great run for a long snapper in John Dornbos. But the Eagles signing Charley Hughlett, Rick Lovato, one of 4 players in franchise history to win 2 Super Bowls with the Eagles. Jake Elliott, Brandon Grant, and Lane Johnson are the others. And Charley Hughlett spent a decade with the Cleveland Browns. A couple of years ago, he was made the highest paid long snapper in the league. So the Eagles clearly think that they are upgrading at long snapper. And I'm not sure if this is correlated or it's why the Eagles made this move, but Jake Elliott had the worst year of his career. And Rick Lovato was a little bit spotty. And then you think about the Niners. Jake Moody had the worst year of his young career, but the Niners also moved off of their long snapper. And so are those moves related? I think they could be. The Eagles adding Avery Williams, Patrick Johnson, and then Kylan Granson to their roster. Those are the 3 most recent moves that Philadelphia's made on this Friday, and then they added a long snapper to the team earlier this morning, and we've talked about all of these moves right here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. We're about to talk about the 3 most recent moves for the Eagles. Then we'll get into my Eagles free agency grades. First, I want to show you our Super Chat menu. Our guy, Jonathan Efrog, who's been supporting the show all week, sending in a $20 to get us started. $20. If we get enough Super Chats, we'll do a jersey raffle. If you send in a $50 right now, I will do a shotgun. $100, I'll do a shotgun, and I'll do a beer bong. And if you send in a $200 Super Chat, we'll automatically send you an Eagles jersey right here on the show. So if you're ready to talk some birds, I want you to type me in the chat, and I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video because we're about to get the official show started. More than 500 people hanging out on this Football Friday. 95 likes. We should be able to get to 200 likes with this many people watching ASAP. Recent commenter club. I see Monty Rizzo, Carl Smith, Jay Wilson, Dave M., Gino and Joseph, Richard Vogel, Big Al Williams, DJ, all in the chat right now. If you're ready to talk some birds, type me. Because, Chip, I know you're ready to go as well.
Let's get it going, baby. Eagles making moves.
Up to 120 likes. All right, let's talk about the three most recent moves for the Eagles here. And we'll start off with Avery Williams. Let's go to Granson after that, and then Patrick Johnson. Awesome. Good stuff. All right, let's talk about the three most recent signings for Philadelphia here. And here we go. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. My name is Chase Sr. Hope everybody out there is having a phenomenal Friday as the Eagles have been busy on this football Friday, signing three more players in NFL free agency. And some of these moves, they might be on the periphery and on the edge of this Eagles roster, but these are some quality additions to this Eagles team. And before we talk about all of them, this is why you subscribe to the channel. We've been live every single day of free agency this week. Every single move that the Eagles have made, we've talked about it here on the show. Nobody does it like we do it right here on YouTube. So lock us in and hit that subscribe button. I want to begin with talking about Avery Williams. He was the first player among the three who were all signed within about an hour on this Friday afternoon. And that's Avery Williams signing a one-year contract with Philadelphia, according to NFL insider Diana Rossini. Williams was a fifth-round pick, 183 overall, by the Atlanta Falcons in the 2021 NFL Draft. And I'm telling you right now, he's a pretty interesting addition to Philadelphia's roster because I think the Eagles are going to utilize him as a gadget weapon. And with the Eagles not tendering Britton Covey, allowing him to become an unrestricted free agent, I think that Williams could be the Britton Covey replacement as a punt returner if the Eagles want to use Cooper DeJean solely as a cornerback to save his body a little bit. And why I say that Williams is a pretty interesting addition for this Eagles roster, check out his non-special teams career snaps by position. In 2021, 2 snaps along the defensive line, 11 snaps in the box, 96 as a slot cornerback, 9 at wide cornerback, and 3 at free safety. That might confuse some of you because our graphics, and I have told you that the Eagles are signing running back Avery Williams. So he actually started his career coming out of college on the defensive side of the football. And then he made the switch to playing offense. And at Boise State, he was known to be a really good athlete. And when you get selected in the 5th round, that's pretty legit. So from 2021 to 2022, makes the transition to offense, right? And that year, 85 snaps in the backfield, 6 as an inline tight end, 37 snaps out of the slot, 13 at wide receiver. In 2023, missed the entire season due to an ACL injury that happened during June OTAs. And in 2024, 10 snaps out of the backfield. Now, the Falcons last year were set at that running back spot, led by Bijan Robinson. So there weren't a lot of carries to give a player like Williams. But it's interesting, too, because I think that he's going to have significant special teams impact potentially for Philadelphia this upcoming season. He averaged 10.9 yards per punt return, which is pretty damn good. Just under Britton Covey's career average of 11.3. And so with Covey seemingly moving on, he might get some more money from another team. And with the Eagles having the option to go Cooper DeJean as a punt returner or Avery Williams a punt returner, they bring in Williams here. And let me just add this in. I know the Eagles sign A.J. Dillon. You have Will Shipley on the roster. Saquon Barkley, still the star that he is. But Kenneth Gainwell also moved on. And Kenneth Gainwell returned a lot of kicks for Philadelphia as well. And so this is a little bit of replacement in a couple of ways here. Next signing for the Eagles. Philadelphia bringing in a second tight end in as many days in Kylen Granson. He is a young free agent at just 26 years old. He is a former 4th-round pick, as once again, the Eagles are bringing in a player with a pretty good draft pedigree. And he was a really good blocking tight end last year, according to Pro Football Focus. 16th best pass blocking tight end. 17th best run blocking tight end. And what we're assuming here, with the signing on Thursday of Harrison Bryant and the signing on Friday of Kylen Granson, Dallas Goedert is probably gone. entering the final year of his contract, no guaranteed money on his deal, and so Howie Roseman has a couple of replacements to help fill that void or at least absorb that blow. Granson, Bryant, Grant Calcaterra. And then in a deep tight end draft class, I would be shocked if the Eagles do not take a tight end in the first 3 or 4 rounds. And Granson has also played 40% or more snaps in the last 3 years, and he's been asked to catch the football, and he's been able to do that. Also of note, last 2 years, he's played under Shane Steichen, former Eagles offensive coordinator for an organization that Nick Sirianni has a lot of familiarity with. So Granson in 2024, 14 catches, $182, 13 yards per catch, no touchdowns, 1 drop. In 2023, 15 games played, 30 catches, 368 yards, 12.3 yards per catch, 1 touchdown, 3 drops. In 2022, 31 catches, 302 yards, 9.7 yards per catch, no touchdowns, 2 drops. And then as a rookie coming out of SMU, he had 11 catches for 106 yards, 9.6 yards per catch, no touchdowns, and 0 drops. And that type of pass catching ability gives the Eagles a lot more than what they've had from backup tight ends in recent memory, right? You think about a player like Jack Stoll. Every year that he was in Philadelphia, 4 catches, 11 catches, 5 catches. And then in 2024, he had 2 catches. He was barely used in the pass game. Whereas Granson not only is a good blocker like Jack Stoll, you can also utilize him as a pass catcher. Greg Calcaterra in his career, 5 catches, 4 catches, and 24 catches. So Granson is a player who I think the Eagles are going to utilize this upcoming season, blocking, catching, and then Harrison Bryant, he was used by the Browns last year in short yardage situations, and he's caught 10 touchdowns in his career in about 5 years of playing. And then the Eagles also bringing back Patrick Johnson. This is a player who the Eagles have a lot of familiar with. He has shined in the preseason throughout his career. He was a 7th-round pick out of Tulane in the 2021 draft by the Eagles and never has registered a sack as primarily a pass rusher, but does have a lot of special teams value. As a rookie with the Eagles, he played in 17 games, year 2, 16, year 3, 15, and then in 2024, played 1 game with the Eagles and then 12 with the New York Giants. And so understands the scheme. Eagles have familiarity with him. At the very least, he can help you with special teams, and then you can use him sparingly as a pass rusher from time to time. So 3 signings for the Eagles on this Friday afternoon, 4 in total if you add a long snapper addition as well. Rick Lovato, take care. Thanks for your service. Grade these signings A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know what you're thinking about them down below in the comment section. We always want you to have a voice here on Eagles Now. It's a big part of what we do. And on top of giving you great coverage, insight, analysis, opinions, and entertaining all of you, we want you to be a part of the program, and this is how you do that. Eagles Super Bowl gear, still available thanks to our friends at Fanatics. And even though millions of people worldwide have purchased Eagles Super Bowl gear, doesn't mean that they're running out, because this Super Bowl victory is going to live on in memory, etched in stone forever. Use that link down below. It'll redirect you to Fanatics. And then if you make a purchase, Fanatics will know that Eagles Now and Chat Sports sent you. It's a great way for you to support the program and for you to support the Birds and have some gear that's going to be timeless, because we will never forget about that Eagles dominant Super Bowl 59 victory. It's chatsports.com/EaglesSB. If you're watching us live right now, we're putting that link in the chat. So here are all the moves that the Eagles have made up to this point in NFL free agency. Saquon Barkley given a contract extension, $41.2 million. Zach Bond re-signed at 3 years, $51 million. 2 big moves for the Eagles right here. The rest of them, Philadelphia fulfilling a lot of depth needs across the roster in a cost-efficient way, on top of having a bunch of draft capital and a lot of good young players who are under contract and in their primes already on this team. Dorian Thompson-Robinson traded from the Browns to the Eagles. Looks as though he could be QB3. Kenny Pickett to Cleveland. Tanner McKee gets elevated to QB2. Kenyon Green, he was sent to Philadelphia in that C.J. Gardner-Johnson trade. Former first-round pick, top 15 overall guy. He now enrolls in Jeff Stoutland University. Ben Van Sumeren can have an impact in all three phases of the game. Offense, defense, special teams. A.J. Dillon, 240, 250 pounds. This is a running back who you can use in short yardage situations, and he's a bull. Just got medically cleared from that neck injury. Hopefully he can stay past that. Josh Uche, I think he's going to be able to have a really good impact with this team, given the talent on that defensive line, who he'll be playing alongside, him being coached by Vic Fangio and Clint Hurt, an underrated defensive line coach in the NFL. I think he's a good scheme fit. I like the ability too. Guy had 11.5 sacks a few years ago, has twitch, bend, and speed coming off that edge. The Eagles signing 2 tight ends in free agency. The first one was Harrison Bryant, 1 year, up to $2 million deal. Adoree Jackson, cornerback, former first-round pick from the 2017 draft out of USC, signed by the Eagles on a 1-year contract. The Eagles have a new long snapper. So long, Rick Lovato. Hello, Charley Hughlett. 1 year, $1.42 million deal. Avery Williams, gadget weapon added to this Eagles roster. Could be the Britton Covey replacement. Patrick Johnson, rotational outside linebacker and special teamer. He comes back to the Eagles. And then Kylan Granson, a blocking and pass-catching tight end, signed to a 1-year deal as well. Those are all of the moves that the Eagles have made so far in free agency, with the 3 most recent signings, us going into detail about all of those. Don't forget, hit that sub button. We continue to build like crazy, and we're going to continue that momentum. Good stuff, everybody. Thanks for being here. Let's continue to hang out on this Friday. Saw another $10 super chat come in from Paul. He's talking Cowboys as Miles Sanders is back inside the NFC East.
Here's that 10 from Paul.
Paul C., Louisiana Paul. I got to say, I'm a little impressed by the Cowboys' new running backs, but I doubt their offensive line will be as strong or dynamic. Also, not as good as Phillies. Not as good as Phillies. That is for sure. Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams. Not a bad 1-2 punch at that running back position. They do let go of Rico Dowdle. They liked Williams a little bit better and Miles Sanders a little bit better. And both of those players, instead of just Rico Dowdle, I think that's an upgrade for Dallas. Rico Dowdle did go to Miles Sanders' former team in the Carolina Panthers. Jay Wilson, we have 7 picks in the first 4 rounds. They have 11 picks in the first 4 rounds the next 2 years. 21 picks total. Eagles are in a good spot. Adam Thielen signed with the Giants? Okay. Oh, okay, it's Panthers. So he re-upped there. Just going through all the signings here on our preview screen. I think we could start there. Yeah, we'll start with some moves that have happened across the NFL since we nearly ended the show yesterday, because right before we signed off, the Eagles signed Adoree Jackson. So Ben Skoranek back with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Adoree Jackson signing with the Eagles on a 1-year deal. More than 90 games played and more than 80 starts in his NFL career. Storm Norton, offensive tackle, signing a 2-year deal with Atlanta. Gardner Minshew is going to back up Patrick Mahomes. 1-year deal. What does that say about Carson Wentz? The Chiefs move off of him after 1 year. Noah Igbenogany, 1-year contract, I believe, with the Washington Commanders. Kayvon Chason, 1-year, $5 million deal with the Patriots. Olamide Zaccheaus signing with the Chicago Bears. Aaron Stinney, a guard, signing a 1-year contract with the Giants. Liam Eichenberg, offensive tackle to the Dolphins. Stephen Castle, tight end with the Chicago Bears. Laviska Shenault, signing a 1-year contract with the Buffalo Bills. He played his college football with the Colorado Buffaloes. Israel Makamu, safety, 1-year contract with the Dallas Cowboys. The Niners signing a long snapper as well and letting go of a 5-year player in Tabor Pepper in signing John Weeks to a 1-year contract worth nearly $1.5 million. Jake Curran, offensive tackle, 1-year contract for Jonathan Gannon at Arizona. Jacob Martin, a former Temple University product. T for Temple. Yo! 1-year deal up to $3 million. Taylor Heineke, going to be a backup for Justin Herbert. 1 year up to $6.2 million. My goodness. Kyle Allen signing a 1-year deal with the Detroit Lions. Charley Heck, 1 year, $1.5 million to Tampa Bay. Miles Sanders signing a 1-year contract with Dallas, so the Eagles will see him twice a year. Pharaoh Brown, tight end, 1-year deal with the Dolphins. Bailey Zappi going to be QB3 behind Mahomes and Gardner Minshew with Kansas City. Tim Patrick wanted to stay with Detroit. He stays with Detroit. 1-year deal up to $4 million. Good story for him last year, coming off consecutive Achilles and ACL tears. Charley Hughlett, the Eagles, saying goodbye to Rick Lovato and hello to Charley Hewitt. 1 year, $1.42 million. Eric Wilson, the linebacker, signing with Minnesota. Wes Schweitzer, guard, 1-year contract with New England. Dane Jackson, cornerback to the Bills. Kareem Hunt, back with Kansas City on a 1-year, $1.5 million deal. Delshon Phillips, linebacker, Chargers. Kendrick Green, center, 1-year contract with the Bills. Avery Williams, the gadget player and return man, signing a 1-year deal with the Eagles. Demetrius Flanagan Fowles, good special teams player, signing with the Giants. Jerry Tillery, defensive tackle, 1-year deal with Kansas City. Former Eagle Marcus Epps to the New England Patriots, 1 year, $4.5 million. He left the Eagles after 2022, signed a decent deal with Las Vegas. Nate Herbig, guard, former Eagle, 1-year contract. Dante Fowler Jr. goes back to the Dallas Cowboys. 1 year, up to $8 million. Patrick Johnson, back to the Eagles on a 1-year deal. Sterling Shepard, 1-year contract with Tampa Bay. Keith Taylor, the cornerback, Atlanta. Kylan Granson, tight end, 1-year deal with the Eagles. Simi Fehoko, 1-year deal with Arizona. Corey Levin, guard, Tennessee. Cody White, wide receiver, 1-year deal with Seattle. Morgan Fox, defensive end, 2 years up to $8.5 with Atlanta. Jeremiah Ledbetter signing a 1-year deal worth just shy of $2 million with the New York Giants. So wanted to inform everybody on all of the moves that have happened as of pretty late last night, early evening-ish into today as we are here, day 5 of NFL free agency. Our guy E-Frog, he's been a big-time super chatter all week. If somebody else sends in a $50 super chat, I'm doing a shotgun. All right, 50% off, shotgun. Let's get the juices and the drinks flowing on this Friday afternoon. Joel Y. Perez Martinez, stop cursing. I don't think I've cursed once if you're talking to me.
Gotta say, can't be talking to you.
Joe Lord in the building saying, Chase, what's up, Joe?
Our poll question right now, in the live chat, great what Howie Roseman has done so far. 46% B. I'd say that's better than what most people's sentiment was these past few days. It felt like everybody was just dogging on Howie. So, seen 46% B, 21% A, but 27% C.
Okay.
Of course, you know, the draft is where Howie really thrives. So, we'll see what he gets up to once the NFL draft starts in, what, about a month?
Yeah, end of April. Coming up in about a month and a half. Gino and Joseph. How are you, Chase? What's up, man? What's up, Gino and Joseph? People just don't understand the strategy. People also don't understand that Howie Roseman and the Eagles have 21 picks in next 2 drafts, including 11 in the first 4 rounds. You can get some excellent players in the first 4 rounds. Adrian Toby. I need 1 or 2 edge rushers to replace Sweat. Come on with it, Howie. And Adrian is a first-time super chatter. Thank you, Adrian.
Pop that up on screen for you here in a sec, Adrian.
Once that registers with the system, we'll give you that. Up to $40 in supers.
Joel Martinez. He's the one who said stop cursing. He said, you said Fehoko when you were reading the name out. He said, I'm just kidding.
That's hilarious. Well played by you. I don't know. Sometimes when I'm talking so much for so long, I'm like, did I curse? I don't even know.
All right, here is the 10 from Adrian.
Adrian, appreciate that super chat. There is some talk that the Eagles could show interest in Azeez Ojulari, a former second-round pick who went on the field, has been very productive, and it wouldn't be surprising if the Eagles showed interest in him because guess where he went to college? Georgia. Went to Georgia. All right, I'm going to talk about Kylen Granson here for a YouTube short. So you'll see me pull my phone out here. And I'm going to record this real quick, still talking some football, and then we'll upload that to my social media pages and on YouTube. We're live on Philadelphia Eagles now for day 5 of free agency. Join us if you haven't already done so. In back-to-back days, the Eagles have signed tight ends. Yesterday, Harrison Bryant. Today, Kylen Granson to a 1-year contract. As we know, going into 2025, the future of Dallas Goedert is uncertain. Going into the final year of his deal, no more guaranteed money left, and so it's looking more and more like the Eagles are going to move on, especially with this being a deep tight end class. And when we were at the NFL Combine, Philadelphia was meeting with a couple of really talented tight ends. I like this addition of Granson. Really good blocking tight end. 16th best pass blocking tight end in the NFL last year. 17th best run blocking tight end. But he can also catch the football a little bit and is a good athlete as a former 5th round pick out of SMU. Maybe he was taken in the 4th round, but every year, 11, 31, 30, 14 catches. Eagles can use him there as well. Yeah, 4th round pick out of SMU.
An interesting free agency note here.
Let's hear it.
Not having to do with the Eagles, but having to do with the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
2 of their bigger signings. They made a bunch of good moves this offseason. Defensive end Michael Holt and defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi, who they both signed this week, have both been suspended 6 games for violating the NFL's PED policy. According to Bills GM Brandon Beane, they knew about Holt's suspension, but not Ogunjobi's. And he admitted they would not have signed both if they knew that.
Wow.
But they will adjust moving forward.
Wow. That's huge.
Ogunjobi was a big signing for that interior, man.
Big signing in 6 games.
For both
That's
of
a lot. That's a combined 12 games for both of those free agent pickups. All right, let me upload that. Kylen Granson.
Another interesting note here. A suspension for PEDs voids any and all guarantees unless there is contractual language that says otherwise. In Michael Holt's case, the $13.4 million in guarantees just decreased to $4.3. So he just lost out on almost $10 million.
Yeah, interesting.
Conspiracy theory here on Twitter. What if Beane knew about these suspensions? Knew this was coming. He knew about Holt. Apparently didn't know about Ogunjobi's, but what if he knew and then signed them at a discount? Knew he wasn't going to have to give him all that guaranteed money.
That's next level thinking right there.
Just a theory out there. Man,
I will say, man, I know the Eagles haven't signed a star, but with all of these moves that they've made, they have a pretty deep football team. Pretty deep football team. Got to be Jab with the recent tight end signings. Is Dallas Goedert gone? Yeah, I'm not sure if you just joined us, but I was just talking about that. You know, with Goddard going into the final year of his contract, no more guaranteed money left. He wants a new deal. The Eagles have signed tight ends on back-to-back days. And so that's Harrison Bryant. Today that's Kylen Granson. You have Grant Calcaterra. It's a really good tight end class with the likes of Gunnar Helm. Eagles met with him at the Combine. Mason Taylor, Eagles met with him at the Combine. Harold Fannin played under Scott Loeffler at Bowling Green State. Loeffler is now the quarterback's coach of the Eagles. And so I think Goddard is all but gone.
What has everybody's favorite free agency signing been so far for the Birds? I'm curious. Out of all the moves they made, a lot of smaller moves, but moves that should still be impactful here.
Yeah.
What is everybody's favorite signing? What do you think is the best move so far? The long snapper. There we go. Hey, if it helps Jake Elliott turn it around, it might be the best move.
I think that's connected. Let us know in the chat.
Antonio Holmes, Uche, Carol Hosey also saying Uche, Ampdad, Gino and Joseph, Jay Wilson all saying A.J. Dillon. Like A.J. Dillon, man.
Okay.
He had some juice as a rookie, as a young player, but obviously the injuries, the play fell off a little bit, but man, that powerful running style. It's a lot of Uche and A.J. Dillon. Definitely two interesting signings. Uche, man, if he can refine that form he had when he had those 11.5 sacks, be a great signing. Candy's back.
Candy in the building.
Day 5, keep it going. We will, Candy.
You already know Candy. All right, let's do this. $10 super chat. And we'll do Eagles free agency grades here on the show. $10 super chat. We'll do another segment, and we'll go through all of the Eagles moves, and I'll hand out some grades. We'll do it for a $10 super chat. $50, I'm shotgunning a beer. Still doing a shotgun for that 50. Where the people at? What do you think about a Pennsylvania Super Bowl from Jay Wilson? I need to see if the Steelers actually sign a quarterback first. Because Mason Rudolph ain't leading them there. And he's their top quarterback right now.
Who knows how long Aaron Rodgers is going to draw this whole thing out. But if he does sign to Pittsburgh, maybe he'll finally win a playoff game. Been a while. Where do y'all think Rodgers signs? Predict it. It's Giants, it's Steelers, and it's Vikings as well. They're in there in those rumors. If I'm him, I'm going to the Steelers. But is it surprising Mekhi Becton still hasn't been signed?
I think he's waiting to see his market. Maybe the Eagles are trying to figure out money to see if they can sign him. But it does surprise me when a player like Aaron Banks, who's a lesser player than Mekhi Becton, gets $19 million per year, and Becton is still out there and might not get as much money. That does confuse me a little bit. So Cameron Wells, that's a good question.
To hell with Becton? Damn, man.
Becton was one of the top guards in the NFL last year. What are you talking about?
Helped the Eagles win a Super Bowl, man. He was really good. Even though he's probably going elsewhere, it doesn't mean you got to hate him.
Oh! Nasser! I think that rounds out to a $200 super chat. Thank you, Nasser. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fight, fight, Eagles, fight. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly, on the road to victory. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! So that's Dubai currency, if that's even a thing. But he's watching from Dubai. As a donation from me to y'all, keep up the great work. Eagles Now by Chat Sports. Go Eagles all the way from Dubai. Much love and Ramadan Kareem to all of you. How about Nasser? Making it rain. So I was right? $200+ right around there. Somebody said it's still 203. That coming in from Pat Ryan.
That's big time. Nasser,
that's legendary. That's a shotgun. Why waste any time? Nasser said, Jonathan Efrog, where you at? All right. Shoddy on this Friday, and yes, we're going to do our free agency grades.
Brian said that's 4 shotguns.
4 shotguns. Here's one. And then I'll do a beer bong for Nasser.
That's a jersey, ain't it? We have been saying $200, you get yourself a jersey.
Oh, boy. We're going to be able to send it to Dubai? Nasser, send me an email, chase@chatsports.com, and we'll see what we can do for you. Legendary stuff from Nasser. Let me get this beer bong ready here.
Chase does 4 shotguns. He's going to be handing out all A's in the free agency grades.
You know what I'll be giving out? Just puke emojis, because that's what I'd be doing.
Kylan Granson.
Yeah.
That's an A!
Yeah. I don't think I'd be able to talk. What happens with all of the Super Chat money? It goes to the company here at Chat Sports. Helps us build. I was employee number 8 back in 2021. I've now been here officially 4 years. I started March 1 of 2021. And I was employee 8. Now we have more than 30 employees. I think we had 3 or 4 studios then. We're about to have around 20. And so Chat Sports is taking off. We're growing like crazy. And Super Chats are a big way that goes a long way in supporting everything that we do. Cheers, everybody. Well, we're just going to go through the graphics we already have made. Sure. Yeah. Joe Perez Martinez, $200, still not enough for eggs. You know what? Inflation and egg prices have actually gone down of late. Gino and Joseph, can you guys sing the Eagles song again? It's so entertaining to hear. How about this? $50 super chat. We'll sing No One Likes Us, We Don't Care, and Fly Eagles Fly. That's what we'll do for y'all. Nasser, shoot me an email, chase@chatsports.com. Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Nice. I like that. No. That's a good idea. I appreciate that. Yeah. Everyone. Let's just do an overall grade. Yeah. Let's go. Trying to think of the best way to do this. Let's take a look at all the players they've signed, the players that they've lost, and then we can just go player card L3 for every player with thoughts on them, and then a grade at the end. So I'll send you my grade now to keep it a secret for everybody watching. No commercial breaks here, so you get to hear us talk shop. Boom. All right, free agency grades coming up. Thanks to Nasser for the $200 super chat. What a guy. The back upland. Jump up and down on one foot, flap your arms like an eagle, and then sing the song. I'm jumping up and down. Now I'm going out of focus. Isn't that crazy? And then I magically appear. And then I magically appear. Hey, there we go. Go Birds, $2. That Speed Rush bum might be traded from Go Birds. Oh, that's Go Birds talking about Bryce Huff again. Dude, the back upland. Did you see what you did? I'm like an orb. That's good stuff. This show blows WIP out of the water. I haven't tuned into them since I found this channel. They cry and whine too much. Hey, man, I love what they do at WIP, but thank you so much for that compliment. Got a lot of friends over there. Spent some time in their studios when I was growing up. But, yeah, what we do is different. And I have pillars of this show I try to accomplish anytime I'm talking Eagles. Want to be informative, want to be insightful, entertaining, thought-provoking. I want you to have fun. I want you all to have a voice. So hopefully we're able to accomplish that. And we're so glad that all of you are here. What's the email again? Very simple. chase@chatsports.com. Candy said check the Venmo. I didn't see anything. Candy! $20 Venmo. All right, for the $20 Venmo. No one likes us. No one likes us. No one likes us. We don't care. We're from Philly, fucking Philly. No one likes us. We don't care. No one likes us. No one likes us. No one likes us. We don't care. We're the Eagles, the fucking Eagles. No one likes us. We don't care. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles. You know what they don't do on WIP is sing no one likes us. We don't care.
Go Birds.
Go Birds is just aggressive. I'll donate $200 if you assault Spike Eskin. I'm not going to do that. I like Spike, even though he turned me down for a job a few years ago. I like Spike. I applied to be a producer when I was working in television at Scranton. And I was going to work my tail off to be a producer at WIP and work my way up to be an on-air guy. They went with somebody in-house. Very sad.
Very sad, but look where we are now.
It led me here. It led me here. And now on Eagles Now, the channel is popping. Get to cover the Birds every single day year-round. We're closing in on 116,000 subscribers. It's pretty awesome. It is pretty awesome. We're blessed. We're thankful. And everybody here is a big part of that. Free agency grades coming up next. Live here on the show. What do you like in the draft first round? If Walter Nolan is there at 32, I'd like him. If a good safety is there, like Malachi Moore, Malachi Starks, I like both of those players. Could be an offensive line where, offensive lineman, where Howie Roseman can't help himself. But they don't really have a lot of needs on the roster. I think 32 is too early to take a tight end. I think Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland go in the first round. And then the next best tight end, Gunnar Helm, Mason Taylor. I don't think they're worthy of being first-round picks. So, all right, one more segment. Then we're going to sign off shortly hereafter, because we have a lot to do before we dip on out of here today. And so if you want to get a super chat in to donate to the show, it is your last call to do that. We'll sign off after grades. Yeah, shortly after. Yeah. All right, Eagles free agency grades. Coming up right now, live on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Continue to hang out here with us. So we're about a week into 2025 NFL free agency. The Eagles have made a plethora of moves. A lot of players have left this Eagles roster. So I thought it was a fitting time to put together my Eagles free agency grades. You're watching Eagles Now by Chat Sports. My name is Chase Sr., and as always, no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We are live every single day this week. We were talking about every single Eagles acquisition, and we'll continue to serve as the standard for the best Eagles talk right here on YouTube. So let's first take a look at every single move the Eagles have made up to this point. Keep in mind, I am recording this on Friday, March 14th at about 5 o'clock Eastern time. So if there's another signing that happens that's not included in the show, that is why. The Eagles rewarding Saquon Barkley with the 2-year, $41.2 million contract extension. The Eagles re-signing one of the heartbeats of that defense last year, the number one overall defense in the game, and Zach Bond to a 3-year, $51 million contract. The Eagles traded away Kenny Pickett to the Cleveland Browns for Dorian Thompson-Robinson and a 5th-round pick. So now Tanner McKee becomes the backup behind Jalen Hurts. Kenyon Green coming to Philadelphia as a former first-round pick out of Texas A&M by the Houston Texans in exchange for C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Ben Van Sumeren signing a 1-year deal to stay with Philadelphia. He can play linebacker, special teams, and fullback. A.J. Dillon signing a 1-year contract to join Saquon Barkley and Will Shipley in that backfield. Josh Uche, talented edge rusher, had 11.5 sacks a few years ago for New England. Played last year with the Patriots and the Chiefs, signing a 1-year deal just shy of $2 million. Harrison Bryant, a 1-year contract, up to $2 million. Adoree Jackson, 1-year deal. That's the report with Philadelphia. Longtime starter, former first-round pick all the way back in 2017. Spent the last few years with the New York Giants. Charley Hughlett being signed as the Eagles' new long snapper. 1 year, $1.42 million. He takes over for Rick Lovato, who is one of 4 players in franchise history to win the only 2 Super Bowls in franchise history for Philadelphia, joining Lane Johnson, Brandon Graham, and Jake Elliott. Avery Williams, a gadget player, signing a 1-year deal. Patrick Johnson comes back to the Eagles on a 1-year contract, and then Philadelphia adding a second tight end to the team in Kylan Granson, a former 4th-round pick. That is a 1-year deal as well. What does it mean for the future of Dallas Goedert? I think he's all but gone. So my thoughts overall, before I go player by player here, with what the Eagles have done in free agency. Howie Roseman's strategy is somewhat clear to me. He wanted to let players walk and not pay great money to good to very good players. The Eagles also have gotten some compensatory picks back, and the Eagles have been able to add a lot of depth while retaining some players like Zach Bond, giving a contract extension to Saquon Barkley. And so you might be frustrated with Howie not making big splashes. He told us this was coming. He asked for patience when he was at the NFL Combine when I was right in front of him. And that's exactly how the Eagles have gone about this free agency period. And now they have 21 picks in the next 2 drafts, including 11 combined in 2025 and in 2026 in the first 4 rounds. It's going to give them an opportunity with 17 picks in the first 5 rounds to draft players, develop them, and they will be cost-controlled assets, and that's how you stay a consistent winner in the National Football League. For Saquon Barkley, there is some risk here. He's in his late 20s, mileage on the tires, injury history, but this is Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman saying, Saquon, you're a one-on-one athlete. You just had the best season in the history of all running backs in the history of the NFL. You were underpaid. You outplayed your previous deal. We will reward you with you helping us win a Super Bowl by giving you a 2-year, $41.2 million contract extension, the most guaranteed money and the highest average annual value in the history of the league for running backs. He earned it. This is why the Eagles get respect from so many agents and players across the NFL. This is why Philadelphia has become a go-to destination for players. This is why players do not want to leave on top of playing in front of the best fans in the NFL. For Zach Bond, a lot of similar thoughts to the Saquon Barkley deal, right? But Saquon was already under contract. Zach Bond was set to be a free agent. The Eagles signed him for a 1-year contract worth $3 million. It may have been the best signing across the entire NFL in free agency last year, considering how well he played at the money that they paid him. Finalist for Defensive Player of the Year, first team All-Pro, so instinctual, plays with great feel. The Eagles would have not been the number 1 overall defense without Zach Bond, who alongside Jalen Carter, they were both the MVPs of that Eagles defense last year. This is also Vic Fangio saying, I want him back because he can lead my defense. Dorian Thompson-Robinson had taken a top 30 visit to the Eagles going into the draft a few years ago out of UCLA. Clearly, the Eagles really liked him. And for Howie Roseman to trade Kenny Pickett and get DTR, who will be a developmental player for this organization, and get a 5th-round pick, and then have the better quarterback in Tanner McKee be the backup, who has a lot of ability, I think could be a starter at some point down the road. It's a smart trade by Howie Roseman when you consider value and it making sense for this Eagles roster. Kenyon Green, this is a move that I hated. C.J. Gardner-Johnson has been the heartbeat of this Eagles defense the 2 years that he's been with the Eagles, and in both years they've won the NFC, they've made it to the Super Bowl. I know that he can be a lot to deal with. I know you might wake up as a coach or a GM with the text at 4 a.m. that says, what is C.J. Gardner-Johnson talking about on X? I understand that sometimes that's difficult to deal with. I'm willing to deal with that if there are other positives. And the other positives outweigh the negatives for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Plays with swagger, plays with confidence, plays with physicality, makes big plays, comes through with game-altering interceptions, has no fear, is a great leader, is wonderful in that locker room. Players absolutely love him. And I know that the Eagles are trying to save some money. They want to pay Reed Blankenship. I get it. But to trade C.J. Gardner-Johnson away when you saw how it impacted the 2023 team and how much you missed him, I don't like it. And Kenyon Green, former first-round pick, yes. Jeff Stoutland probably going to turn him into a really good player. And Kenyon Green, Tyler Steen, they're making no money compared to what Mekhi Becton could get on the open market. But he's a huge project, and Green has been one of the worst guards in the NFL since being that first-round pick. Ben Van Sumeren, sneaky good signing here for the Eagles. He could play linebacker, special teams, and last year he emerged as a pretty good weapon as a fullback. A.J. Dillon, the Eagles lost Kenneth Gainwell to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that Will Shipley will still be RB2 and should be RB2. I think that Will Shipley has a lot of ability, pop and juice in this league. A.J. Dillon could be the LeGarrette Blount type of running back for this Eagles team, though. Short yardage guy, not really a home run threat of a player, but he can pick up tough, gritty yards in short yardage situations, he'll run over you and through you. And with the future of the brotherly shove being in somewhat question, the Eagles bring in A.J. Dillon, who's going to get you those tough yards, and Harrison Bryant, who ran some quarterback sneaks last year with Cleveland. Josh Uche, excellent value here. Josh Uche was top 10 in pass rush win rate, I believe, among all edge rushers last year. And he had 11.5 sacks a few years ago. The Eagles are signing him for under $2 million. When you talk about the Uche signing, it's all about value. And I think that in 2025, he could have the type of surprising impact to a lot of people that Zach Bond had in 2024. And I'm not saying that Uche is going to be a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year or that Uche is going to be an All-Pro. But what I'm saying is that I think that Uche, in this system, with this coaching led by Vic Fangio, with this talent, with the skill set that he has, the pedigree that he has as a former second-round pick, can give Philadelphia 7 to 10 sacks. And if he does that at just more than $1 million in guaranteed money, steal, steal, steal. Harrison Bryant, tight end, 6'5", 230, 10 touchdowns in his career so far. He was used by Cleveland as a guy who would pick up short yardage with quarterback sneaks. That was very interesting. And so he could be a pass catcher. He could be an okay blocker. He could be a red zone threat. And if the Eagles are going to trade or release Dallas Goedert, you have to have a backup plan. Now the Eagles have multiple of them. You have Harrison Bryant, you have Kylan Granson, you have Grant Calcaterra, and then I think they should draft the tight end in the first 4 rounds. Adoree Jackson, he's played in more than 90 games. He started in more than 80. He was an electrifying player at USC as a returner, as a corner. He's been a very solid player in his career, not quite becoming the first-round player that the Titans envisioned when they took him in 2017, although he was solid for Tennessee and then he got paid some big-time dollars by New York. It's pretty telling to me. He's only been with 2 teams since 2017. Tennessee, New York. Both teams really like him, and he's a depth piece for cheap for Philadelphia, and they need that at that corner position. Charley Hughlett, long snapper. So long Rick Lovato, 2 Super Bowls, really good long snapper. I think the struggles of Jake Elliott this past year may have resulted in the Eagles moving on from Rick Lovato. And so Charley Hughlett comes in. He spent 10 years with the Cleveland Browns. 1 year, $1.42 million. It's a decent amount of coin for the long snapper spot. Avery Williams is such an interesting player. And I want to bring up where he's been used in his career, because coming out of Boise State, taken in the 5th round by the Atlanta Falcons in 2021, started off on defense as a corner. And in 2021, 2 snaps along the defensive line, 11 as a box defender, 96 snaps in the slot, 9 at wide corner, 3 at free safety. Made the switch to offense in year 2, 85 snaps in the backfield, 6 inline tight end, 37 slot receiver snaps, 13 at wideout. 2023 missed all of the season because of an ACL injury during OTAs. In 2024, 10 snaps in the backfield, but didn't get any carries at all, but they had Bijan Robinson, who's an excellent running back. He is a punt returner, and last year, 10.9 yards per punt return, just under Britton Covey's career average of 11.3. Eagles did not tender Britton Covey. He's going to be a free agent, and so Williams could become a versatile player and gadget weapon for Philadelphia at minimal money. Patrick Johnson coming back to the Eagles, spent much of last year with the New York Giants. And then Kylan Granson is another pretty interesting player here, who's a former 4th-round pick out of SMU, has caught a decent amount of passes at the NFL level, and is a very good blocker. Last year, 16th best pass blocking tight end, 17th best run blocking tight end. And so he will block for you, and he will catch passes for you. And again, with the uncertainty around Dallas Goedert, you had to make a move here. Eagles Super Bowl gear is available. Chatsports.com/EaglesSB. That'll redirect you to our friends at Fanatics so that you can get leveled up, look good, feel good. That's the motto with some Eagles Super Bowl gear. And regardless of where you live, you can flex that the Eagles are Super Bowl 59 champions. Head to chatsports.com/EaglesSB. Shirts, hats, hoodies, jerseys, merchandise, all types of things that you can put inside your man cave available right now, utilizing that link down at the bottom of your screen. So, as we round things out here, this Eagles team still has a lot of stars. And this Eagles team going into 2025 is very deep as far as the depth that they have on this Eagles roster. And I know they haven't made splash moves, but they've gotten a lot of really good value deals. And keep in mind, some of this money they're not using now is going to be spent on the likes of Jalen Carter, hopefully Reed Blankenship. Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell are going to be due for deals. Nolan Smith as well. And so the Eagles want to allocate those dollars in the future, with the NFL salary cap continuing to rise, to some of their defensive homegrown stars. Whereas their offensive players are young in their primes and under contract. So my free agency grade for the Eagles up to this point, I'm going to give them a B grade. They are defending Super Bowl champions. They still have an opportunity to run it back. At the very least, they'll return 9 of 11 starters on offense. And on defense, they've lost 3 starters. Josh Sweat, Darius Slay, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, but they're still very good, and they're banking on quality coaching and player development to help them. And they have a lot of draft picks as well, and that strategy has been a part of the Eagles' free agent strategy. And keep in mind, too, we're thinking about external signings. How about bringing back Zach Bond? Re-upping with Saquon Barkley. Important deals. I need you to grade the Eagles' free agency period so far. A, B, C, D, or F. Comment your thoughts and your opinions down in the comment section right now. Let's give you some shout-outs here. King Javier going with a B. We had a $20 super chat come in from Candy. If we get to $300 in super chats, I'll do another beer bong before we sign off. Might as well, yeah. I'm going to put up a 2-minute super chat shot clock. We are at 275 in super chats right now. If we get to 300, I'll do a beer bong before we sign off. Got a couple of super chats that we'll run through here. If you send in another 50 in the next 2 minutes, I'll shotgun again. All right, go Birds with a $2 super chat. $300 if you leak a story that Huff gets traded. See, there is a report from Jordan Schultz from earlier that the Eagles are willing to trade Bryce Huff. Dallas Goedert could be dealt as well, or released. Beast Guard, $24, $5. Look at how many players we have under contract. The defense will be due soon. But yet fans expect us to be big spenders. Shaking my head. People need to relax. Man, what you said in that super chat, and I didn't see it, I promise, is literally everything that I tried to hit on and talked about during the free agency grade segment that we just did. So true. The offense is locked up. The offense is young. The offense in their primes. But you're going to need to pay Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter soon. Another player due for a contract extension is going to be Cam Jurgens. So Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, maybe Jordan Davis, Cam Jurgens, Reed Blankenship, all due for deals very, very soon. Oh! KB! $50 super chat making it rain. Before we hit that, $20 from Candy. We can't miss this one. Supporting y'all on the East and West Coast teams that I love. Thank you again. Missed my West Coast live today, though. We're going to be going live on the Niners Report right after this. Have a great weekend, Chase and Chip. You as well, Candy. And we hope to see you live on the Niners Report coming up here in about a half hour or so. KB! Making it rain. Who we got? Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith in the profile picture. That's good stuff right there. That's good stuff right there. That's a shotgun, too. That gets us over 300, and that was met within the 2-minute super chat shot clock. Carol Hosey, I have been here every day this week. If you've been here every day this week like Carol, I want you to give me a real one down in the chat. Real one, roll call. Carol Hosey. Carol Hosey. Let's go. Last call for Super Chats if you want to send us a tip. If not, all good, but we are signing off here in just a moment. But first, KB. KB. Let's go. Cheers, KB. It's too easy. Woo. KB is definitely a real one. All right, let's see here. All right. Okay, about to sign off here. Very productive live, as we just wanted to go live real quick because the Eagles made those 3 signings. So, went live for about hour and 12 minutes. Talked about those signings. Did our free agency grades. Whatever move the Eagles make next, I have you covered here on the show. We're doing long-form content as far as videos on your video feed. But check out the YouTube Shorts as well, because the YouTube Shorts have done massive numbers. I do those on top of the long-form videos, and I'm just looking at some of the numbers here. 28K, 26K, 24K, 37K, 20K, 31, 38, 22, 20, 10, 14, 39, 23. All of those numbers since Sunday. So we are the content daddies here on these Eagles YouTube streets. But we're going to dip out. Hope everybody has a great weekend. If you want to join me live on the Niners Report, we'll be live over there here in just a couple of minutes if you want to continue to support the movement and support the show. For Chip, I'm Chase for the Bird Gang. Go Birds! Super Bowl champs! We out.